During these hot summer months, the topic of hydration usually comes up, and on occasion one of our athletes may ask us, well, hey doc, is it possible to drink too much water? Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Bartosh, and the answer that I'm about to give you may surprise some of you, but yes, it's possible to drink too much water. As a matter of fact, there was a study that was recently published, the results of which were made known by the New England Journal of Medicine. And it stated in this, as a result of this research, it stated that yes, drinking too much water can result in death. Now, what they did in this study was they drew the blood from 500 individuals that had completed one of the previous Boston marathons. And this included the elite runners as well as some of the weekend warriors. And the results showed that of these athletes that were tested, about 13 to 15% of them were already in a state of showing signs of a condition known as hyponatremia. As a matter of fact, 3 of those individuals that were tested were in a very dangerous state. Now, I found this to be true in over 35 years of dealing with athletes. There is a surprising number of athletes, particularly those that are in events that involve running, our endurance athletes and our cyclists, who were actually putting themselves at risk by drinking too much water. So let me explain to you what happens here. Again, it's a condition that's known as hyponatremia. Now, it's like the mirror image or the opposite of dehydration. In dehydration, you have a lack of water, too little water. In hyponatremia, you're getting too much water. Now, the condition hyponatremia is also known as water intoxication. Water intoxication. And what happens is, over a period of time while the individual is training and or in his or her event, an endurance event primarily, they're drinking exclusively water. That's all they're doing in order to rehydrate themselves. Well, what's going on is because of the increase in the amount of water that they're drinking, it's diluting the blood plasma. That's the liquid part of your blood. It's diluting it, and as it's diluting it, or increasing that amount, it's also diluting the salt content that's in the blood. Now, when you're in a heated condition, when you're out there in the environment, not only is this person consuming too much water, but he or she now is also perspiring, and during the function of perspiring, they're also losing additional amounts of salt. When this happens now, they're also reducing the amount of what's known as electrolytes in the blood. Now, as this continues, as the body gets to a certain point in the loss of its electrolytes, it's going to adversely affect the brain and the brain's ability to function. It's going to adversely affect the heart and the heart's ability to function, as well as all of the skeletal muscles, which this athlete now is recruiting in order to complete this event. So what is going on is you're getting this malfunction in the brain, the heart, and the muscles. Now, the body, being fearfully and wonderfully made, and it's a self-preserving entity. What it's going to do is it's going to attempt to reduce the amount of fluid in the blood. And it does so by pulling this excess fluid out of the blood, and it has no place to put it but in the cells of the body. So now the cells that make up the body are starting to swell because of the increased amount of water. Now, this includes every cell of the body, primarily those of the brain. When this happens, when the cells of the brain start to expand and swell, it affects the brain's ability to create electrical chemical responses that the body needs. Your brain literally creates electrical chemical firings that operate the entire body. So this is impaired. As it continues, as the brain continues, these cells continue to balloon with the water, the pressure inside the skull increases to the point wherein you can have brain damage that results in permanent damage, and if it continues to a certain point, it results in death. Very frightening. But the thing is, it's totally preventable. Now look, the body is going to show you, it's going to give you some indicators, and you've got to be smart about this. And as I said, it can mimic, it's the opposite of dehydration, but sometimes you can get the same types of symptoms that are presented, the same types of warning signals that your body's putting out. So if you are in an event, if you're competing, or if you're training, and you start to get nauseated, or you start to get dizzy, or delirious, or you have confusion, or some loss of, you get this overwhelming sense of fatigue, what you need to do is to stop at that point. Look, you need to stop at that point, and you need to pass by the water station and get to the station where they're giving you the electrolyte drinks. That's what you need to do, because your body is talking to you. It's letting you know that it's in dire straits. And if you allow it to continue, if you're going to suck it up and push through it, it may result in permanent neurologic damage to you, and God forbid, it could result in your demise. And it needn't be. It doesn't have to happen. So look, this is what let me say what you don't do. In order to replenish this, in order to make up this deficit, you don't drink any sodas. You don't drink any coffee. You don't drink any kind of iced tea. Don't do that either. And, it goes without saying, but nonetheless, I've got to say it. You don't drink any alcohol. I mean, seriously. Those are all diuretics, and those are going to compound and accelerate the problem. So you don't do that. So what you want to do is this. You want to be proactive. If you're out training, getting ready for these events, you want to have with you some kind of a container that's available with a rehydration drink, or make sure that after you train, you have a rehydration drink available there in your vehicle. And during the event, you want to pass by some of these water stations. If you're conditioned, your body is you've already taken the steps to hydrate, and when you're getting thirsty, your body will let you know. But if you're starting to experience some of these other symptoms, every so often, maybe every second or third water station, pass by the water and throw down the electrolyte drink, or maybe combine the two, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is get the electrolytes back into the body during the event, and most assuredly, you want to follow up after the event is over. That's a big mistake that I see a lot of athletes are making. They don't replenish what they've lost during the event, and you got to do that. Now look, you can get these electrolyte drinks at your sports store, your grocery store, whatever. But a few months ago, we posted a video on our YouTube at Proactive Wellness, where I shared with you 2 or 3 different recipes that you can make at home of rehydration drinks. And I'll tell you this, they're far better than what you're going to get commercially, and they're far less expensive than what you're going to get commercially as well. And you can make them to suit you. So the bottom line here is to be proactive. Don't allow these things to happen to you. Look, that body that you're exercising, that you're challenging in your events, that's the most important piece of equipment that you own, and you have a responsibility to take care of it. And this information, if acted upon, is going to help you to do just that. Hey, I want to thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And until the next video, and as always, God bless.